item number 6 is to adopt the resolution setting a date for public hearing on a proposed local law pursuant to the town law 154 to abolish the police department subject to referendum. Discussion before?
Yes.
We have no discussion on this other than to set the public hearing.
Yes.
Accept the referendum, yes.
Is that a motion?
No, I had just read the line item and I'm opening the floor for discussion right now before we actually set the.
Do you want to perhaps give a background as to how we got here?
Oh, sure. Obviously, it's been no secret, and of course it was in the paper today, the continuance of several folks asking for and also pursuing to abolish the police department. We are now in a position that I have received the figures from the county executive's office. And in order for us to go forward and give the public the opportunity to speak and make the decision for the residents of the town, the public hearing has to be set for the local law. We need to establish the local law first. Once the local law is established through the public hearing and it is recommended by the town board, then we will proceed forward with a permissive referendum, which will be all of the town residents of the town of Cicero will have the opportunity to vote for, to keep the police department, or to vote against, to abolish. That will be the only ballot. There will be nothing else on the ballot at all. And this has been a long time coming, and of course, looking at the, which I'm sure will come up at the public hearing in regards to costs, which people will speak of, and savings and service, and so on and so forth. I personally have said before, and I will continue to say, that I will not put a cost or a price on the safety in the town. But it is important for the residents of the town of Cicero to have the opportunity to make this decision. It's not up to the town board. How's that, Jim?
That's good. And I just wanted, as I said on the police committee over the summer, they did a lot of work, and through the committee process, this was one of the options that were considered as opposed to a formal recommendation. And this is not, because there was a lot of confusion, and I received phone calls as to what this actually meant, and it's not merging with the sheriff's department or somehow our officers would become sheriffs. This would be a total situation where the town of Cicero Police Department would no longer exist, and we would not be contracting with any services with the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office. There's a distinction between the two from what Clay did and what is being proposed here, and what this public hearing will encompass. Just to clarify.
Can you tell us what a permissive referendum is? For somebody?
It's just a referendum is a vote on a proposition. It's simple as that. I don't know how else to say it. It's just a vote on a proposition. The proposition would be to abolish the Cicero Police Department. You would vote yes or no.
It was the word permissive that I don't understand.
Use the mic, please, so we can all hear. And give your name.
The word permissive referendum comes from town law. When you abolish a department, it's subject to permissive referendum. Any referendum that is a permissive referendum can be made a mandatory referendum by the town board, which is, I think, what the town board intends to do.
Okay.
The fact that one of this referendum or the local law will speak to abolishing the police department. If that vote were to proceed, to abolish, that does not preclude the town from approaching the county to contract for services with the sheriff's department.
That's correct, assuming that the town board voted to abolish the police department, and there was a referendum, and the referendum passed, that the police department will be abolished, and you could do whatever you want to do after that. You can contract with the sheriff's department. Salina does that, for example. You can contract for certain services, some services, no services, but it's only after the process is over.
And if the vote comes to abolish, when would that become effective?
It would immediately, as soon as the vote to abolish is taken, certified, the police department will be abolished.
And I think between now and the public hearing and after the public hearing, there should be more forums, informational sessions as to what would in fact happen at that point.
That's correct, and there'll be a public hearing for the adoption of the local law. But between that adoption date, whatever that date is, between 60, the referendum will be held for 60 to 75 days. So you've got roughly 2.5 months to continue information and so forth to the public before the vote is actually taken. So there'll be some discussion, I'm sure, at the meeting, to adopt the local law, but I'm sure there'll be much more discussion after that. And by the way, the town can hold informational meetings after that as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? With that, I would make a motion that we set the public hearing for December 8th at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall in the town of Cicero for a public hearing considering a local law abolishing the town of Cicero Police Department pursuant of section 1504 of the New York State Town Law, subject to a referendum of qualified voters within the town of Cicero at a special election held within the town as provided by law.
Madam Supervisor, the only change to that is instead of the town hall, I think we're looking at the South.
Oh, that's correct. We are going to, we've cleared it to have it at the South Bay Fire Department, obviously to accommodate all those, to be able to have an opportunity to speak and hear.
What time is that, please?
I'm sorry? It is at 7 o'clock. It would be the town board meeting, but it's going to be held in South Bay with a public hearing then.
December 8th.
December 8th.
Second.
Mr. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Jennings.
Yes.
Miss Zambrano.
Yes.
Mr. Coral.
Yes.
Miss Boyke.
Yes. Thank you.
I have one correction, maybe unless I'm reading it wrong. November, to set November,
No, that's
this one,
I'm not changing it. It's
oh,
December 8th.
It's been changed.
cancel that. I didn't have it. Oh,
Okay.
got it.
Okay. Number 7. Authorizing supervisor to execute authorization to allow the request application to be made on behalf of Police Chief Joseph Snell for a 211 waiver through the New York State.
I would like to request that this I would like to request that the request be tabled for the time being. I think that I have concerns about the canvassing process that was conducted by the town. I have concerns that some of the actions and the statements have been inconsistent. I believe that there is no hurry for us to act on this waiver. Civil Service advises that Chief Snell his status has not yet been certified, so there is no hurry. So I think that we need some more discussion. I would like to look at the canvassing process a little better. I think that there are some discrepancies. And as I said, some of the statements made and actions made have been inconsistent. So I think we need a little bit more time to study this issue.
Do you have any comments in regards to this as well?
In the past, we've always had an opportunity to provide information to the state to allow Chief Snell's waiver to go through as provided by New York State law, and the fact that there is no cost to the town. In fact, per his contract, there's no contributions to the town for the pension, which would be entitled to a other employee of the town. So I don't see a problem in authorizing the supervisor to move forward and execute the necessary documents to proceed with the waiver.
Vern, do you have any comments in regards to this, to table it or to pursue it?
No, I think that regardless of what happens afterwards, this should be done now anyway. And we just take in whatever happens after the 4th, it's all paid, but I think this should be put in now.
Well, yeah. And the state's ultimately the one that grants the waiver or not. It's the town really just proceeds on procedural basis to forward it on to the state, and then ultimately the state decides whether or not to grant or not grant the waiver. So, I make a motion to authorize the supervisor to execute necessary documents for Chief Snell's 211 waiver.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Jennings?
At this time, I'm going to abstain.
Ms. Sembrano?
No.
Mr. Corral?
Tony, do you have any clarification on reasons to abstain from votes? Is that an adequate vote by Mr. Jennings?
I don't believe that there's grounds for abstention, to be honest. Unless there's a specific reason he's abstaining, I don't know about that. I don't think you can just abstain.
I just want to point out that in the past I sat on the Chiefs Advisory Committee, and I've had information on other items relating to this issue, and I have talked about it, and for that reason I am abstaining.
I've stayed on the board for several years. I've had a lot of discussions with Chief Snell about the waiver. I don't see how it's a conflict, so I'll vote yes.
Ms. Boyke?
Before I vote, I would just like to clarify that I followed the specific instructions for all of the process in regards to the waiver for Chief Snell, because this obviously was a first opportunity for me to do this. I was under the guidance and followed all the procedures in which I was told were proper, along with my secretary, and also, well, basically I followed procedures. So with that, I'm voting yes.